Mate, this is one of our best episodes of all time, I reckon.
Easily. It's like a grand final episode.
For more reasons than one.
It sure is. Oh, I can't wait for this weekend. Got an enormous night of racing at Moonee Valley with the Manikato Stakes, and then down in Sydney, Rosehill. It's the Golden Rose, one of the most important stallion-making races in Australia. And then, of course, the AFL Grand Final. We are going to be there. How good, mate?
Doesn't get much better, and we'd like to thank the good people at Ned's for sending us to Moonee Valley and in many ways sending us to Melbourne as well.
Yeah, absolutely. A big shout out to the good people at Ned's. Plenty to do with them this weekend with the AFL Grand Final and also some massive days of racing. So get on boards. If you open up your Ned's app, get involved with the profiles as well. We've got a couple of profiles on there. You can follow our tips in and see what we like, and maybe follow us in. We've tipped a couple of roughies this weekend. You can do everything you want with the good people at Ned's. Just get involved.
You really can. And I guess this is your last opportunity. Thursday morning, we send out comms about our Group 1 tipping competition. So you'll have to listen to find out all the finer details.
Absolutely. If you're listening to this podcast right now, and it's a Wednesday night, and you haven't signed up, pause it and go to www.onthedriftpodcast.com and sign up.
Simple as that. But what are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.
I need to ask you a question. Be curious, Drifters.
Mr. Brightside spins the bob and wins again. Zardozi wins the Oaks for J-Mac. The photo finish. Mr. Brightside or Romantic Warrior. The mare's going. Great guns. Fangirl. Look at her go. Fangirl. Imperatrice has got her. And raced on by Imperatrice by a length. Overpass. More Baker's Delight in Perth. Radina just won it, I'd say. Tom Kedden won the spring champion in a cakewalk. Without a fight, won the Caulfield Cup.
You might have to bear with me because your boy's voice is. I'm not sure I'm going to make it. I don't think I'm going to make it. What a weekend!
What a weekend!
There is so many discussion points for us to discuss.
There really is. It was just a good 36 hours of power.
Yeah. Can I say though? Can I start on a negative note?
Okay.
Because that's not what people would have been expecting.
No, not at all.
I have some feedback for the good people of Virgin Australia. You need to sort your staff out.
Oh, they really do.
So, first thing, we were only booking or selecting the seats that were available. And typically, if you're up the arse end of the plane, there is rear access.
No, not rear action.
Yeah.
Rear access, yeah.
But no, they didn't do that for both flights.
All the flights.
All the flights that
all
we
the
were
flights
on.
we took.
Ridiculous. But the first one that we're on, first thing this morning, and we were a bit bleary-eyed and a bit fragile. The last thing I needed to hear was the dating drama of a 23-year-old. I know her age because she said it was. Dating drama of a 23-year-old flight attendant.
The decibels were incredibly high.
And unrelenting.
Mate, relentless.
Like, I'm talking the entire... When she wasn't going up and down the road, handing out coffees, she was doing it. She was chatting the entire time.
We're talking blow by blow.
Yeah. And then she was like, and then he fucking ghosted me. And then it was like, but he was a bit of a creep anyway. I'm 23 and he's 29. He doesn't even own a house yet. But why are you single? And it's like, you need to fucking step back, babe. I was shocked at the dialogue.
It was a lot to handle.
As a fragile man.
Two fragile men. Most of the people on that flight were pretty fragile, especially the blood supporters. And just listening to that, with some serious decibels attached to it. Surprised you could even speak with those lips. Honestly, fuller than the bloody MCG yesterday, those lips.
Nemo.
Nah, Dory.
Dory.
Dory out of Finding Nemo. Those lips.
But anyway,
Bro, I'm glad that your boys got some noise cancelling headphones, like the Bose ones. They get the JD drifters.
Yeah.
So I didn't really hear any of it until the end of the flight. We were waiting to get off for so long because they didn't have rear exit.
Yeah.
No rear action on Virgin flights,
Right.
which, true to their name, Virgin flights have a significant lack of rear action.
Maybe it's the best thing for them.
Maybe it is, mate.
But we're not going to bury the lead here.
No,
We're premiers.
we are premiers, mate.
Winners win. And yes, well, what was the final match? 60. 10 goals.
10 goals, and I think that was flattering towards Sydney.
Yeah.
Honestly, after they scored their 2 goals at the start, Sydney, they will never even looked like a chance.
No way. And I said to you this morning, I'm like, the Sydney supporters would have been thrilled for about, I don't know, half a quarter. And you said, hey, mate, give them some respect. They did win the last quarter. I'm like, oh, you are right. Right when the game was in the balance. Only 73 points at three-quarter time. Oh, how flattening. How flattening. Like, Lions lost last year, but we were bloody proud of them. It's like, are you proud of a performance like that?
No,
you can't be.
There's more questions than answers.
Yeah.
More questions than answers. And particularly after getting pumped by 80 only 2 years prior, there's some demons there.
Yeah.
And what's your famous tagline?
They can't play the G, bro.
They
They can't. They lost to Richmond there this year.
They can't play the G, bro. And you were, to your credit, bullish all week.
Yeah.
The most bullish I've seen you about anything apart from without a fight in the Caulfield Cup last year.
Yeah,
That was bullish.
I was supremely confident. And I told anyone that would ask. I was convinced whoever won, either Geelong or Brisbane, on that side, whoever was that side of the draw was going to win.
Yeah.
Convinced. Honestly, Port Adelaide are lucky they didn't make it, because if they played there yesterday,
Oh, it would have been similar.
it would have been double. I
You reckon?
Yeah.
Oh, dross, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're all dross compared to us. Is it dynasty season?
I
Are we
think-
getting too far ahead of ourselves?
No, I don't think so, because we're going to get better, mate. We have Levi coming in. Kitty Coleman's coming back. Link is going to be there for depth. Joey's confirmed that he's going around again.
Big O didn't even play yesterday. God
Big O.
bless his soul.
Well, we have to win another one for Big O.
have to. For
Have
Big O.
to.
Have to.
Dodie,
Yep.
he's the unseen recruit
Yep.
who nuked his knee
Before the season even
before
started.
the season started. Darcy Gardner played last year and he nuked his knee.
Yep.
There's so many nukes.
So many nukes. Honestly, a season like no other. And I know that's just that's a stereotypical thing to say, but mate, they had no right. They had no right. 44 down against GWS with what?
2 weeks ago.
A quarter and a half to go?
Yeah, ticker. 5 goals and 18 kicks. To be honest, mate, they probably nearly broke that record yesterday.
Yeah.
Some of the fucking cones that were on the field for Sydney.
Oh, mate.
Honestly.
They were dreadful, and it was an absolute pleasure to watch.
Yeah.
And where we were sitting, drifters. So we sort of, our bay was, I'd say 95% Lions fans, our bay. And this is tier 3. So to be honest, phenomenal seats for watching AFL.
We were right on the 50-metre line and we could basically see all the play happening.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
It was awesome. And then, but to our left, and your boy Dan Hutchin had the aisle seat. To our left was an entire bay of blood supporters. And Richard Deary, might I add. Shout out to you, Richard. And they were just like non-existent.
They were miserable.
They were non-existent.
Yeah, but even though they were non-existent prior, during, and after they were, like, just by default because they rocked up. But like prior to the game, you could only see Lions supporters in the city, and from vibing it on the at the ground and on the telly, from what we saw is like it was probably 60-40 Swan
I'd say
supporters.
so. Yeah,
but they're just not as passionate as your Pie supporters, because last year the Pie.
Oh, it was like a circus.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And it was definitely not as busy as it was last year. But the crowd was pretty much, it was very similar. But like the vibe probably wasn't as high because obviously the Pies weren't there and a Melbourne-based club were there. But yeah, the Blood supporters are just timid.
Little baby boys.
It's because they don't really know what they're watching.
Yeah, it might have something to do with that. Well, to your point, and Matty Johns' point during the week, when they go to the game at the SCG, they're not even watching
They don't even watch the game.
They're talking to each other because they're not interested. It's all about keeping up appearances for them.
Yeah. Or they might have diarrhea. They go to the toilet that often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People at Moonee Valley Track go to the toilet pretty often as well.
Yeah,
actually.
they do actually.
Like a symphony in some of those cubicles.
Over-unders, did I give out 10,000 high fives?
I think you might be smack bang 10,000. You were happy. You're a happy chappy going up and down the aisles, giving it to the Swans fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I got it. They did it, mate. They did it, and they got there. You've been a supporter since you were a little baby boy. You've been Yahoo as much as you like.
I wasn't really giving it to them. I was just asking them a question. Did Isaac Heaney get off the plane? Did Errol get off the plane?
Did Chad?
I didn't see them there.
I don't think
yesterday.
they got off the plane, mate.
We were looking at the actual stats after the game.
Terrible reading if you're a Bloods fan.
Oh, my God.
Terrible reading.
Like, poor old Conor McKenna touched the footy the least, or second least, but by default. He only got on there in the last quarter and he
came on for party time.
Yeah. Best that would be the most blissful time in footy ever.
Party time. Imagine just a chat.
Oh, mate. But yeah, anyway, congratulations to our Lions. I'm glad we went on this journey together, mate.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
It feels like it's only the beginning.
I think so too.
It was really fantastic. But let's get to the Valley on Friday night, hey?
Let's do it.
Thank you to the good people at Ned's for sending us along as well. That was fantastic fun. Great vibe. Way busier this year than last year. Too busy, you might say. But
it was insane.
The Fian Stakes. That was the highlight of the night for me.
Absolutely, it was.
We were up in the grandstand, and apologies for my camera work. I've proven it's not my strength.
At least it was vertical camera work, not horizontal. A landscape. Okay, now.
Next time you get your iPad out.
Oh, mate. Speaking of a lack of tech understanding, so if you've been on Instagram, Drifters, you probably saw some footage of Hutcho and I after the game singing the Lions song, and clearly someone's shooting the video from behind us. And there was 3 lovely young girls sitting behind us, Lions supporters, obviously, and they took the video, and one of them said to me, "Oh, do you want this video? I'll airdrop it to you." I was like, "What? How do I do that?"
Oh,
so if anyone's listening to this podcast under any illusions that like I'm the brains behind it, this will dispel that myth like instantly. I was like, how do I do that? And she was like, you just scroll down here and click that button. I was like, oh, that's amazing.
Oh my God. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's poor from you.
Oh mate, I'm just not tech literate at all.
That's funny.
Not tech literate.
Yeah.
More of a manual guy.
Yeah, I'd say so. But your camera work was much better than mine.
Yeah.
Now the Fian. I was just trying to watch the race anyway.
You got too excited, man.
Tell you what, the punters on track. The whole grandstand at Moonee Valley there was packed. Absolutely
brimming.
Overflowing, you might say. There was broken seats, there was broken glasses, there was cigars being thrown around. There was everything happening.
Yeah, it was going on.
And the oldies were not happy.
The oldies weren't happy because the valley was a rockin'. It was like it's like a show almost, like a concert, like a gig.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That sort of vibe.
And tell you what, all the chat around us was like Jenny. Everybody. And which is even more wild because she was $1.70 for Horsefield, sure. But like, that's a sure price.
She didn't open up favourite. They swapped Brightside and Jenny.
Yeah. Well, tell you what, mate, that is one of the best. I reckon that's probably up there with the best race I've witnessed live because of the crowd reaction throughout the race.
Yeah.
A furlong, maybe 2 furlongs into the race, the crowd gave a cheer when she went 3 lengths clear. And then again, when they went around the side and Matty Hill gave it, and she's 6 lengths ahead.
Yeah, it was a great call by
And
Matty.
the crowd went wild again. And then entering the straight, it was just fucking young, on for young and old. Everyone was getting into her and everyone was so happy.
Mate, yeah, it was phenomenal. I thought last year when we went, like some of the best atmosphere I've ever felt on the track, that just blew it out of the water, that race. It was so much busier for that race than the Manikato.
Yep.
Like you could feel it.
Yeah.
No one wanted to miss it who was there. It was theatre. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And,
I think she might be Australia's most popular horse. Pride Jenny.
She might be.
Who else would be?
Well, Animo was when he was going around. So since then, you probably had Imperatriz, a bit, Mr. Brightside, the Blood,
Mate, but
But none
Brightside.
of them. They're an entree compared to Pride of Jenny, I think.
Literally did not hear Mr. Brightside's name said. last
No,
night.
he was the toast of the town 12 months ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you've made this point before on the podcast. Like 2 years or a year in horse racing is like how many seasons in footy?
Yeah.
It's because there's a new star on the block every season, every few months, and things can just pop up out of nowhere. So. Yeah, he's not had his time in the sun. Like, he's still a very good horse, and he'll be competitive for the rest of his prep. But Pride of Jenny, man, his time last year, bloody Amelia Stewart broke the track record and beat her. Hello?
Yeah. So it's probably between her and Broadsiding, who we'll get to as Australia's most popular horse at the moment.
Let's we'll get to that because I think we're going to talk about the Cox Plate at the end of this podcast.
Yeah, I'd say we will. And I'd say Pride of Jenny and Mr. B probably booked their tickets.
I'd say so.
Now, just look, we'll be honest with you here, drifters. This is not going to be like a forensic view
No.
of like the races because we haven't really had the time to look over everything. But the Scarborough Stakes, Bellatrix Star. Oh, I was annoyed with myself.
Yeah, you were.
I was really annoyed with myself because she gave everyone 2.5 kilos the run prior. Her form didn't suggest that she liked firm ground, but she was equal weights here. And what I'm learning, I think there's always like, I kind of define, there's something I learn each season, I'd say. And I think for the 3-year-olds, what I'm learning is like the weights are really important, like weight swings and level weights and how it kind of relates. Like we saw it in the Golden Rose. I saw a few people kicking off for a node, but he had the weight relief in the run to the Rose, and he was a non-issue.
Yeah.
So
I don't think he particularly likes the soft ground, but no, like you couldn't consider him because back to level weights, like you just put a line through him straight away.
And I was annoyed at myself because 1, we had a quaddy on and we left her out, and 2, she was 8-1, and it's like, yeah, that was probably a miss there. I thought Matisse ran well. GG's just missed. Was fantastic. To be or not to be was solid. Bob Bastille ran okay, but
She's a 1,000-metre horse, Bob Bastille.
Yeah, I think so. Your boy did have a winner though. Evaporate, absolutely brained him. Just loves the valley. 1,600 metres, fit horse.
Big weight drop.
Yeah, I think a race like the Carbine Club might be this horse's grand final.
Derby Day.
Yeah,
Is that a 1,600 metre race?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the logical target. And that's
Group
what
2, Group 3 sort of thing. Yeah.
That's what I said to you after this. It's like you're like, so what's the go with these horses?
Yeah, like where to from here? Because they're not Group 1 horses.
No. So it's like I'd say, yeah, the likes of your Detroit Cities, your Evaporates, and your Dawn Service probably. They all probably go around the Carbine Club.
Yeah. So Evaporate's son of Too Darn Hot, same as Broadsiding. So
Evaporate?
yeah, is he a son of Too Darn Hot?
No, per Encanto.
Oh, is he? Who am I thinking of? Oh, I'm thinking of Perspiration. My mistake. Sorry, guys.
No. Just don't do it again, all right?
Parencanto. Gringotts is the son of Parencanto, though.
Okay. Manicato Stakes, race 7. Congratulations to the 2 people. 2 that tipped Southport Tycoon in the Group 1 tipping competition.
So, way more than 100 people signed up for the tipping comp drifters, and only 2 people in that group tipped Southport Tycoon. So, well done to Simon Stevens and Dave McKenzie. Guess what price he started with the good people at Ned's?
19.
$19. So that's double points.
Bang.
For picking the winner there. So 6 points each to Dave McKenzie and to Simon Stevens. Well done, gents. There can only be one clubhouse leader, though, and we'll talk about that when we get to the Golden Rose. So well done. Some stats from that particular race.
In terms of who tipped what?
Yep. So 25% of you drifters were on I Wish I Win. And the second most backed horse, funnily enough, was number 2, V8. I think he was probably the one at close to double figures.
Yeah.
So people were sort of thinking, hey, if I'm going to get 6 points here, I think V8's the horse. What were your thoughts on him?
I probably need to watch his performance again because the finish on Southport Tycoon was so breathtaking.
It was incredible. Let's talk about that a bit more.
And Growing Empire was so good as well. And then Kaimochi was really brave. And I Wish I Win was obviously super. But V8's probably the one where I haven't really got a gauge. I think first thought, best thought, I think he's just looking for that mile around that 1500 for a Golden Eagle, which would be perfect for him.
Yeah, I think that's right up his alley, V8. And look, based on Celestial Legend, he might be number 1 seed for the Aussies.
Southport Tycoon. So, well done to those two gentlemen who tipped him because I thought his first up run being 4 lengths to Jolly Star in the Show County was not good enough gravy for a race like this, which was, we were saying, this is good Manicato.
This is a genuine group of wine, as genuine as I get.
Yeah. And it wasn't necessarily the older horses that made it. It was the younger brigade that really like, there was that sense of quality behind it.
Yep.
Now, 2 of those, again, same boat as V8 for Coleman. I probably need to rewatch what he did. But Hayasugi was really disappointing.
Yeah, she was. After V8, there was pretty much an equal amount of drifters who went Growing Empire and Hayasugi, which I think was probably before the race, fair enough. Has anything come up about her at all? Or
I haven't checked the stewards report or anything. So, something might have, but it's hard to say, but like, I'm not a big fan of the Royal Meeting horses. She's one of those.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Just that bloodline, I feel like they're not as consistent.
Okay.
That's just like something I saw there, but they can throw in a bad one, and she's done that before in the Slipper. Bad circumstances there as well.
Yeah.
Just an off day for her, probably.
Yeah, I think forgive for Hayasugi. Unfortunate there.
Growing Empire though.
Growing Empire. Some controversy.
Oh, wasn't Twitter emotional?
Twitter was very emotional. Look, do you think it was a degree of talking out of their pockets?
A degree. Considering he was smashed by the market, I'd say it was the only reason why they were talking about it. Rightfully so, but do you really want, in the wash-up, our DMs were blowing up too.
Yeah.
Basically going like, Craig's got a holiday. And it's like, well, do you really want to bang this horse up before a Cornwall if he's in that way? Like,
I just think you run that. How often do we see a horse like Southport Tycoon absolutely storm home like that? I would love to see what that 200 metres section was. It just doesn't happen very often.
No.
And unfortunately, Growing Empire was left a sitting duck because Bro did the donkey work as well.
And if it's Jamie Carr, maybe she's the wrong example. Who's another? If it's Michael D riding that horse, right? Instead of Craig Williams, is it? Do as many people blow up? Because Craig's a bit of a whipping boy.
He's a bit of a whipping boy. He is a bit of a scapegoat. Look, it didn't look great because he stopped whipping him in the last 50 metres. But I still don't. I think if he whipped him, I don't know if it would have changed the outcome because Southport Tycoon was humming and it was too late.
Yeah,
he got done on the line.
Yeah,
I think what also exasperated people's opinion was the fact that Mark Zahra came out and said, "Yeah, this horse is a bit of a stargazer," and so is Craig. So I just knew I could nab him, and that was. And Mark Zahra is probably a bit of a prick, right?
Yeah.
And he was riding Growing Empire in his prior 2 or 3 starts or whatever. And obviously couldn't get light enough to ride him in this race. So he's like, I know this horse is good and he's my target. I'm going to get him. And he rode Southport Tycoon at Peach, saved all the ground.
Yeah. Oh, from where that horse came from, like $19 in play would have been generous.
Yeah, it would have been. It would have been.
Like, that would have been severe unders. Like, he would have been, 100 to 1 on the corner?
Oh, in Betfair or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm guessing probably longer.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I saw Growing Empire got to $1.01.
Did he?
Play.
Shit.
So commiserations to those people.
So
bit more wash up here, right? So Written Tycoon's a year long sire.
He is.
So Southport Tycoon could potentially be on an Everest path out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So just to kind of, take up the Yulong slot. And then they probably aim to go there because the Everest is going to get upgraded to a Group 1 race this prep. And then they probably just go like, you know what, Growing Empire's probably got a hoof in and around the Coolmore stud already.
He's the one to beat clearly in the Coolmore. And from what we saw, I don't think he's got it all figured out yet. I think what could get him beat in the Coolmore is a professional colt, probably one in Blue Silks. But he lost no admirers, that's for sure. Growing Empire. Yeah. Estriella, you said she's a 1,000-metre horse, and I think you're right.
She's
How's she going to win a Group 1 in Australia?
She's not.
She's not?
No.
Is she better or worse than Aspera?
No, she's not as good as her.
Yeah.
No way. Like, can I see it in my mind's eye where this horse runs within a length of Imperatriz? No way. Unless she already has. No, sorry. Let me go through the form out of this horse's races. Lazargo, Roderick, Arkansas Kid, the Everest hopeful, Climbing Star, ran super.
Caboose?
But finished 5th behind that in a Morpheville Group 1.
Yeah.
So, don't believe the hype. Look through the hype. I've been against this horse's form at the top level. I don't think it's good enough. Kaimochi was one I was giving a bit of hope to run into the exotics on the day. I thought she looked fine in the yard, but she's a tough horse. She keeps finding the line.
She's a tough horse. She could be. Did you make this point about her being like a Bella Nipotina?
No.
Talking about a different horse.
I was talking about Samana.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. But she kind of fits that mold.
Kaimochi sort of does a little bit. Yeah. If she keeps getting better and better with age, she can definitely win a Group 1. At this stage, I think if she's going to win a Group 1, it's going to be against her own sex, maybe. It's going to be in some sort of handicap race. But there's a race out there for her. Yeah.
So, and the crowd there gave an almighty groan when Southport Tycoon went across the line.
It was great footage, yeah.
And but in the last, El Safina, the punters were on. And it was sensational viewing with Blake just getting it to the outside and zooming away. That horse is up to her eyeballs in Empire Rose.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she
just needs a dry track.
Yeah.
I think for me, that Flemington meeting I thought was a bit gross. The fact that she ran third in hindsight on a heavy deck that's not suitable, like sometimes coming back to a dry, they don't fly, but she obviously laps it up. So,
absolutely.
Well done, punters. I think a lot of you were on her, so well done.
Congratulations. So, Golden Rose time.
Yes. So, who's clubhouse leader?
Who? Go on.
So, we mentioned 2 people on Southport Tycoon. Were either one of those gents on the winner Broadsiding? No. Were either one of those gents on the runner-up Traffic Warden? No. And you're thinking, geez, surely neither of them were on Mayfair. Fuck, one of them was.
So that just goes to show that the double,
hunting for value,
the double points, people are hunting for double points.
Yeah, which I respect that. I respect that.
Which means that if because the majority of people are on Broadsiding.
Yes, it was overwhelming. It was like 33%.
Okay, so what that says to me is that like you can still, if you back the right favourite, you're still in the hunt. But then if you're looking at a race, it's like, this is dross. I need to find something to double figures, and it wins. Bang, you're straight back in the running.
Absolutely,
you can absolutely win it from anywhere.
Absolutely. So, well done to Simon Stevens. Value hunting. So he's picked Southport Tycoon at 19s, and then he's picked Mayfair, which is run third, not beaten far at all in the Golden Rose at any old price. I think it was about $4 or $5 to place. So you don't get double points for that, but you still get the 1 point. So Simon Stevens is officially clubhouse leader on 7 points after 2 Group 1s. So you're only ahead by 1, bro, at this stage. But well done, Simon. Appreciate your work.
I think linebacker has a crush on Stormboy. Stormboy number 3, linebacker number 4. And he was behind the big fella in the mounting yard, and he got a bit excited again.
He got a bit excited again, linebacker.
Yeah.
Hogs out for linebacker.
Yeah. We saw a hog on Friday night.
We did.
Let me go back.
Henleen.
Yeah. What race was that? Was that race 2? Let me find this horse.
It was the
He ran second.
It was the evaporate race.
Ah, yes. So that, because we saw it developing. It was a developing story of sorts. And literally, by the time I got and when it was at full mast, and you saw Anthony Sam Friedman was without a fight silks, loved it. He was Anthony Sam Friedman. Sam Friedman was walking around, and he got it off just to go have a word to Mark. Looked at the swinging pole under his Colts torso, and I saw him looked at the heavens. He was like, "Oh fuck!" Yeah. But by the time, because I wanted to get that, developing story content.
Yeah,
got my phone out. It was soft.
it was gone.
And we timed it. By the time 6 seconds, it went from rock hard to not being existent. 6 seconds. I could not believe what I was seeing.
Look, it was a pretty chilly night at the Valley. I just can't believe how much penis content we've had on this podcast over the last few weeks. But when these 3-year-old colts are still running around and there's options for stud, it fits the theme.
He finished off very well.
A spring champion horse, Henleen.
Just needs to like linebacker, who will probably be in that race as well.
Yeah,
imagine that.
Yeah.
2 pole vaulters going head to head.
Yeah. So linebacker, more than 10% of drifters were on linebacker. A similar amount were on Stormboy, and then the clear 2 top picks were Broadsiding and Traffic Warden. So the drifters knew. A lot of us would have finished in the Quinella there. So if you had Growing Empire, the favourite for the Manikato, and Broadsiding, the favourite for the Golden Rose, you'd be on 5 points at the moment. So you're well and truly in the hunt.
Do you remember what price Broadsiding was?
So when the markets opened, he was mid threes, like I think 340 to 360. So for that to come into jumping at $2 flat, that is a hell of a go.
That's one of the biggest I've seen.
Absolutely, in a race like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. So
he
didn't win by much, but the stable must have put some mail out just saying he's come back a man, and the rest of these are still boys.
So he's gone from basically a 30% chance of winning by market expectations to 50.
Yeah,
that's a huge.
That's an enormous go.
That's a massive go.
Do you reckon soft deck, like the fact that it was a soft 7, people were just like, I really like this video.
Yeah, maybe Traffic Warden isn't as effective, which you probably agree with looking at his form profile.
Still gets through it.
He still ran super.
Yeah, he ran super.
Like I think Godolphin obviously they're going to be stoked by that result.
Yeah, of course.
I think they would have liked the colt who hasn't won a Group 1 yet to get his nose in front, but I think they still would have been very happy with the result.
Oh, absolutely.
So I reckon, he's booked his ticket to an Everest surely. And
I think so.
I think he's very competitive in a race like that.
We've seen the Golden Rose form stack up in an Everest.
So as J-Mac said, at one moment they lose Animo and then they get this guy, Broadsiding. Is he... So at
CV looks better.
So what's he done so far?
So at this stage, Broadsiding's won a Champagne over 1,600 metres as a 2-year-old. Backed it up in the JJ over 1,600 metres as a 2-year-old. One was on a heavy 50,000. The other one was on a bone dry Eagle Farm deck.
And the JJs are typically a better form reference long term than the Champagne.
Typically, yeah. Animo didn't get the chance to stretch out to 1,600 metres as a 2-year-old, but Bro also placed in a Blue Diamond and a slipper.
Yeah.
And then absolutely put him to the sword in a size produce. So potentially there might be just a bit more sprinting brilliance to Animo compared to Broadsiding, but I tell you what, Animo won the Run to the Rose, which is a top race in of itself, and he just got pipped on the line by In the Congo in the Golden Rose on a day that was up and in, and In the Congo obviously out of the Waterhouse and Bot Stable was up and in. But no colts ever won the Golden Rose first up. And
I think we can all agree that this is a good bunch of 3-year-olds.
It is, yeah.
So it's like, well done to you for saying that this horse is the best 3-year-old before he'd even raced. Off a trial.
That was just pure arrogance.
Off an exhibition gallop.
Yeah, he looked good though. He looked so good. That was pure arrogance for me. But just because I like the horse, but he is. How do they beat him in a Caulfield Guineas?
I don't think they do.
Yeah. What does he start? $1.60?
So what? Him versus Angel Capital, basically.
Well, Angel Capital's the Melbourne horse, but he hasn't shown us yet that he's up to the Sydney Colts. Like he could keep improving and absolutely, surprise us, but I don't know how they beat him. And he just he had to come from the back there. He had to find his own lane. So J-Mac brought him out, and then he had to just chase, and you could just tell he was never going to lose once he eyeballed him. Shit, man.
Yeah, just love a horse that has that will to win. And it's like from what J-Mac was saying, that he went through a bit of a flat spot, not that far away from home, and he just like saw the traffic warden come on his inside. He's like, "Nah, bro, sorry."
Yeah,
it's like, very impressive.
Yeah,
very impressive. And I think traffic warden for me, no loss of admirers there. I think it's just more effective over 1,200 meters.
Yeah. He's clearly the second best.
Yeah,
he's clearly the second best. I think, as it stands right now, probably him and Growing Empire are fighting out the placings behind Broadsiding.
Yeah,
they're clear standouts. Exciting.
Yeah, Storm Boy. I was heavy against him.
You were heavy against him. I think he ran well. He ran fourth, but I think what we learnt from that is soft deck, probably not his go. Would it have been a different outcome if it was a good track? Don't know.
Maybe.
Do you think he goes to the Everest now?
Potentially. Like, yeah.
I don't get Miler vibes from him in the slightest.
No, I don't either. Were you saying that you think the Justifiers don't handle soft ground? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Just from the small sample size so far. Like learning to fly. I remember she failed on a soft deck and she flew home in the Sangster in Adelaide. Yeah, and that would have been a dry deck from memory.
Yeah. Didn't win though.
She didn't win.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I could see him heading to an Everest, and he's a great colt. Don't get me wrong. I was the number one ticket holder. I was.
Look. The only thing that's more in love with Storm Boy than us back in the day is linebacker.
It's true. It is true.
It is true.
Oh, that's funny. All right. What other races do we have there at Rosehill? Celestial Legend did not win this. If Bro needs to win this on the way to a Golden Eagle, he didn't do that.
I think he's come back.
Dower.
You got to remember, Drifters, he's a done deal. And when he won the Randwick Guineas, beating a fellow done deal colt, Militarise, and then the Donny, he was such a lightly raced 3-year-old. And I think he might be looking for further. He only really got hot late, but he's either looking for further or he's ready for the breeding barn. And I don't know what, and I said this to you when we were waiting at the airport, I don't know what Bono is doing with Celestial Legend, like what agreement they have with him, because he's still got his nuts. But if it is true that Militarise is shooting blanks is infertile, if I was Newgate, I'd be looking at Celestial Legend, who's by the same side, done deal, and just be saying, hey, can we just get pretty much a like for like swap? Like Militarise, maybe a more brilliant 2-year-old, definitely was, but you're not going to get another done deal colt who's pretty much the same sort of profile.
Yeah,
are you?
No, it's a sensational point.
So, and he's a beautiful grey horse.
Yeah,
he produced some specimens.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic point. And so yeah, I don't know. Like, what are the options for him now? And Les Bridge, remember that? Like, he was talking everything. Everything was on the table. He was talking Everest,
Cox plates,
but he was also talking Cox plate for that horse. And it's like, well, it was probably his first thought. Mind mantra, first thought, best thought. Maybe he just Les has seen, as we said, many winters, many summers and winters again. Like maybe he knew where this, like, the fate of this horse.
Yeah, don't write off a good horse after 2 average runs.
Yeah.
But if there's a third one,
yeah.
So I was wrong about him this weekend.
Yeah. More victorious, found the front, tough to beat. your boy, because 10 hours it did not run, your boy switched to punch lane at 15s and it just missed. So that was good.
We've had a few of those recently.
Yeah. Where's Millie's Jewel at?
Oh, she hasn't been the same since that night at the Valley, which would have been, now from what we've seen from Pride of Jenny, an absolute gut buster.
Yeah.
And she hasn't been right since then. She carried a lot of weight in the two-rack. I always hated that race for her. She got absolutely busted up in a Golden Eagle. I think she needs a confidence-building win. And she's been running well. Like she's got 2 second placings, but I think she just needs a confidence builder. I think she needs to find a dry deck against her own sex. But she's not the Group 1 superstar we thought she would be.
No.
Because she would have been in that fan stakes, or she would have been, you know what I mean? She's not up to that level.
Dry track, mile, Flemington,
Empire Rose.
Rose.
I think that's a great race for her. Because
I've heard, I think in one of Annabelle Neesham's interviews at some stage, I heard of 5 diamonds be discussed. I'm like, I think that's almost disrespectful to the horse. That's like the aura that she kind of has. I'm like, a race like that for her?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I think, so she won a Northerly over 1,800 metres as a 3-year-old. And I think, love Simon Miller and what he, and how he carries himself and how he carried himself during that period of training her. I think a little bit of think about it vibes with Amelia's Jewel, trying to train her as a sprinter, brilliant enough to be competitive. But when she won the Northerly as a 3-year-old over 1,800 metres, she should have been running in a Cox Plate as a 4-year-old.
Yep. Yeah, I would have loved that too.
I think just the lure of your Golden Eagles and your sprinting pop-ups. I think some of these 2,000 metre horses are just being hard done by.
You just see it time and time again though. Like Arcadia Queen was the first one.
She was the first one.
And for a season there, she was you couldn't back her.
No, it wrecked her.
It took a year and a half for her to get back to Arcadia Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen it time and time again.
Because these really good horses, we saw it with as recently as Very Elegant, before her Winx, before her Maccabi Diva. Like these top tier horses that are gun over 2,000 metres and further, yeah, they're going to win Group 1s over 1,400 metres. And they're going to be competitive in a sprint race because they're just so much better than who they're running against. It doesn't mean that that's what they're made for, though.
Yeah. So, do you get that vibes around, say, like a Jolly Star then? My winner as a 3-year-old, but...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, if there was no Everest and if there was no Golden Eagle, what would she be running towards? She'd probably be going towards, like, an Empire Rose or something like that, I'd say. She's by Zoostar, so can she stretch out over to 2,000 metres? Probably not, but you know what I mean? Zoo Gotcha, like she's more of a 1,200 metre horse than, say, a 2,000 metre horse, but she's not an elite sprinter.
No. There's plenty of miles available.
There's plenty of 1,400 metre Group 1s available. There's fucking 2 back-to-back in Caulfield for some bizarre reason unbeknownst to me. The pattern, talking about upgrading Group 1 races, let's downgrade some, please.
Yeah, same for...
We were flying that flag before all these fuckers in the media were.
Yeah, I know. Well, hey, we are the media.
We move markets.
Yeah. And yeah, Brisbane needs to be in that conversation as well. There's too many sprinting Group 1s.
Oh, way too many.
Way too many. Macarena was good. She was really solid. First up behind Sunshine in Paris as well. And what was her? Yeah, she had that weight advantage on some of these as well. So Samana was the really disappointing one. And I was like, yeah, she probably wins, but I kind of stayed out as well. I had no confidence in her. Just, I don't know. It gave me a bit of icky setup. I don't know why. It should have been a great setup for her.
Trust your gut.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to. And it's like, if she goes on and wins at $2, it's like, so be it. There's always another race. Tropical Squall, she's just a mare out of form now.
Yeah.
Just put a line through her. She's a non-betting proposition. what else did we have here? Bodyguard scratched. Gatsby's went down to Perspiration, who was a nice win from last. Yeah, Gatsby's isn't the colt that we thought he was.
Nope.
And then
And $1. What was he? $1.60?
yeah,
Gatsby's. God, stay out of that.
yeah. And First Light won the Collins.
It was a nice win.
Yeah, just soft ground was the key to that horse.
Yeah.
So, I want to congratulate you for finding the Quinella in the fan on Friday night.
Thanks.
How much did you pay?
$1.10. I just wanted to put it on just to see what it would pay more than anything else. And I was like, $1.10.
No, but after the race, you're like, yes, my Quincy. I was like, and then I pointed to the screen. I'm like, look at the odds, bruh.
You know, it was one of those moments where I was I think the exacta paid like $1.90.
Yeah.
And I think in my mind, like I was almost putting that on. Because prior to Jenny was my on toppy. Like, who cares? It's my only winner from fucking Moonee Valley on Friday night. But tell you what, the victim, it's been a sometimes on this podcast, Drifters, I'll say a swift and terrifying return to form. It can also be a swift and terrifying crash down back to fucking planet Earth for your boy sometimes. Rocks are diamonds. Rocks are diamonds for me. Do you know what I've gotten better at though? Like I've gotten better at not going on about a week that I had 4 weeks ago saying like, how elite was I then?
Yeah.
You're only as good as your last week.
Yeah, that's true. The source found a few, maybe two, at decent prices. And a few each way as well. A lot of them around second. So anyway, but I think that's about it.
I think that's about it. I think it's about it. It's been one hell of a weekend, mate. Yeah. Thanks for taking me on the journey. I appreciate it,
mate. I'm just so glad that you know, as a man who didn't really know anything about AFL until we moved in together, for you to come along on that journey and then have that like climax.
Just like a linebacker or Henley
into a grand, like a dominant grand final win.
And do you know what? It's been phenomenal because a lot of the guys in the team, you know, like I started following them from when they were drafted.
Yeah,
like remember when they drafted Hugh and Jared? That's why Hugh's my guy. He was like my first guy,
mate. I remember that first season because I think Rayner came the year before then, I reckon.
Year after.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they won 3 in a row with Hugh and Jared in the team. I was like, I'm seeing the grass, I'm seeing the green shoots.
Some shoots there. So to come from that, to be there for that, after all the drops, particularly for someone like yourself, like how satisfying was yesterday?
It was fantastic. And in the post-match with Fags as well, he said that basically he only really sensed that they were going to be contenders last year and this year. And it's like, so all the prelims that they were making prior to that, it's just bonuses. And it's just finals experience. Which,
you know what was the difference this year? Yeah, that experience. The difference was the youngins.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like, and that's what a premiership team's about. It's like next man in. It's like DRC Fort, for example.
Who was the most sexual player on the field yesterday?
Well, you have to, if you're winning, if you're the youngest Norm Smith medalist in AFL history, AFL, not VFL, AFL history, I think you've got a bit of linebacker about you.
He was the most sexual, Will Ashcroft, and got rewarded. So
tell me what, there is this passage of play in the first quarter where Hugh McLuggage pulls off, I think it was him, yeah. He pulls off this about 40-metre kick through the centre of the ground to Froggy. It is so divine.
Hugh's my guy.
Oh, he's
touched.
He's the modern day Scott Pendlebury. Just so much time. Do you reckon he has a basketball background?
Yeah, Will was sexual. Young Levi was out and about as well. Levi Ashcroft coming to the club next year, who's going to be a stud. And look, like we said on the podcast, where's Marcus Ashcroft? Oh. We need to study.
Next week, jam-packed. Turnbull Stakes. Via Sistina 320. Elias, Mr. Brightside 5s. I don't think Mr. Brightside will be heading there. Buckaroo 8s. Warmonger 9s. A Tissue 13s. Faulkner Park. Place to Carousel. Royal Champion. I don't think he'll be heading there.
Oh, that's a shame.
I think not at 2,000 metres first up.
More of a miler?
They're going to...
Mile first up?
I think 1,400 first up, where they said he's going to be awfully hard to beat. So wherever he is there, I'm going to
follow him in.
Yeah, just love those silks. And he reminds me a lot of Worth Out, to be honest. No, he reminds me of Zaki. That's who he reminds me of. Cheerwolf 21s, but Cheerwolf is heading to an Epsom, I believe. But the Epsom market, Royal Patronage at 5s, Cheerwolf at 6s, Tom Kitten at 9s, Kovalika 10s, Gringotts 11s, Pericles 13s, Celestial Legend, Democracy Manifest. We forgot about the succulent Chinese meals we had last night.
We did. Look,
that was a great call by me.
it was a great call. Let's talk you through it real quick, Drifters, because this was a divine experience. Small plate or large?
Large.
When you go large, you get 3 different options from your protein.
Yeah.
And you can either get a side of noodles or rice. You went noodles, I went rice. I think I should have gone noodles in hindsight. Honey chook, sweet sour pork, beef black bean. The 3 most basic Chinese meals that you can get, and they were absolutely divine.
I didn't see the honey chook, so
That was a big rookie error from you.
yeah, but I had one of yours, and it was delicious. But the sweet and sour pork was divine, and the beef and black bean was delicious, and those noodles,
Oh, God.
like it's set up to be a good entree or a good meal of what was a hopeful patch at the casino, which ultimately didn't unfold that way for me, but for you it did.
It did, yeah. Look, Caribbean stud.
Love that.
Love it.
Yeah.
Quick game's a good game.
Yeah.
It's a good game, Caribbean stud. So I'm glad we learned. We took the time to observe and learn.
Yeah.
And we played that for probably a good fucking hour and a half.
Yeah.
And sitting with the big dogs.
Yeah.
On the big dog tables.
$100 blackjack table. And it was a swift return to normality because took them for a little bit of a ride, but the job wasn't done on Friday.
We had unfinished business.
Yeah, but I think you finished more business than me, but that's all right.
That's all right.
That's okay. So, yeah, plenty of epic races next weekend, and then the Metropolitan, unfortunately. Elias has even been taken out of that market now.
He's out of it now.
So it's he probably won't be heading there. So that it's $7 a field now.
That's good. Good betting race.
It's Unusual Legacy, who was okay on the weekend. He raced yesterday, didn't he?
He did,
yeah, just went down. Gone from 1900 to 24, and it's a benchmark 78 horse. Don't know about that. Zardozi's $10 if she's heading there, which, I don't know if she is.
I don't know where she's at.
Yeah, Methuselah, 13. So
Needs a drive deck.
yeah. So, yeah, plenty to unfold and for us to unpack on Wednesday. But, yeah, we won't be talking much AFL now for the remainder of the year, which I'm sure some of you will be happy of, but you got to let us indulge.
Let us indulge, guys. It's been a long time. It's been 21 years. 21 years. So, yeah, what a phenomenal experience. Phenomenal. So proud of the boys. Put them to the fucking sword.
Yeah, put them to the sword. They can't play the G.